Alright, what is up guys? Today is Sunday, November 11th, 2018. And first and foremost, before I get this video started, I want to say a very quick Happy Veterans Day to everyone. And to all those who are currently serving this country or who have served this country, you guys have my respect and my appreciation. Thank you for making this country free. That's what I'll say, because we wouldn't have the freedom that we have in this country if it weren't for you guys, so thank you. So today I actually have something new to show you guys, but first I thought I would talk about my truck. And we're sitting in it right now, quite obviously. I made a few videos about this truck before. In fact, I just made one last month, actually. I've owned this truck. This is my 2002 F-150 XL, regular cab, extended bed. I've owned this thing since June, so a few months now, although my dad had owned it for a while before then. My dad bought this in 2016, and I had been driving it after he bought it. I mean, he drove it sometimes, I drove it sometimes, my brother drove it sometimes, but it wasn't until this past June that I actually purchased it off him. So my dad got this off of Craigslist at 103,000 miles, and I think he got it for a pretty good price. I can't remember exactly how much he bought it for, but this has been my daily driver for the past few months, and this truck is a trooper. It's done pretty well. I've carried actually a lot of heavy stuff in the bed. I've helped some people move with it. Not surprising right there, and this truck is definitely a trooper. It's got 117,000 miles on it, and like I said, it has done a very good job. There are, however, some concerns I have with it. You know I just bought it from my dad, and but you know, some stuff is starting to go wrong with it, and it's been concerning me a little bit. So as you guys know, I've had a check engine light on this truck. It's actually nothing too major, but I do have a P0174 check engine light on this truck, indicating that bank 2 is running too lean, so I have a lean condition on the engine. I haven't looked into it too much. I've looked into it a little bit, but the mechanic, the trusted mechanic I've been taking this to up in Rockford, said it would take him a little bit longer to look through it and fully diagnose the issue. The other problem I've been having with this truck that I really didn't consider before I bought it off of my dad is that this truck burns oil. I'm going through probably about between 1.5 to 2 quarts of oil every month, which, you know, oil doesn't cost a whole lot. It's just having to go to Walmart, you know, buy all the oil and stock up on it. It's just not a lot of fun. So those two issues alone aren't, you know, they're not really determining, you know, they're not really alone determining factors as to why I would sell this truck or anything like that or get rid of it. However, I'm going to show you guys something on the outside of this truck, which might not be a surprise to some of you. I pointed this out in the last video I made of this truck. This thing has rust, and a lot of it. Rust, 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 a lot of rust, to where it's eaten the whole corner of the body away. Rust, rust, rust. Same thing on this side. The rust has eaten that whole corner away. A lot more rust over here. Rust, rust, rust. So, now that's just on the outside. But a lot of you guys may be like, what's the big deal? If I get up into the bed, if I can get up here. Now there's some snow up here. We had our first snow a couple days ago, but if I step in parts of this bed, it's not really doing it right now, but if I step in certain parts of this bed, you hear cracking. Like right there. So there are parts of this body right there. Yeah. That's all the body cracking beneath me from rust. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. If I can get out of here, I pulled the truck too close to the garage. I'm a little concerned about that, especially since I do move heavy stuff sometimes, and it is slightly concerning to me. Part of the body that's doing really horrible, even though you guys can't see it if I get down really low. This I think this is called the rocker panel or whatever. Absolutely horrible. This part of the body is really starting to get eaten away by rust. A couple days ago, I was trying to get in the passenger side. I accidentally jammed my foot up in here and I kicked it, and a whole bunch of rust came out. So I think, yeah, that's all rust. So that's another part of the body that's not doing very well. The other thing, I was told when I took this thing to the mechanic up in Rockford last time, he gave me a full evaluation of this truck, and he informed me that the exhaust system, the whole exhaust system on it, is starting to rust out. And within probably, he didn't give me a particular time frame, but he said in the near future I'm going to be looking at an expensive muffler replacement, which he said, you know, depending on the circumstances, can be up to $400 and everything, and that didn't make me too happy. So the muffler is starting to make some noise here and there. It's starting to rattle. I believe the rattling sounds coming from the muffler. You know, so it's really just that rust. That's a big problem, combined with the check engine light and the oil burning. I had been starting to think about possibly looking at something different, because honestly, I don't know, with winter coming up, I wasn't sure how much more rust and salt this thing can take before it falls apart. You know, the rest of it is pretty solid. What's disappointing about this truck, let me get the key for it really quick. Like I said, she's only got, there's the odometer, which actually isn't even fully working right now. This odometer, the backlight on this odometer works when it wants to, but she's only got about 118,000 miles, which is the really disappointing part, because this truck has such low mileage for being a 2002, and the rest of it, mechanically, the engine is in pretty good shape, except for the fact it burns oil. The thing is pretty solid. So, but like I said, I decided to start looking at some other stuff, and I really do like having a pickup truck, so I made a choice to buy something new, and I actually bought it a couple days ago, and right now I'm kind of in the transition process. I'm still driving this thing, but I did purchase myself a new vehicle. So today we're going to take a look at it. It's actually parked over at my church right now, because we are in a townhouse over here, and my mom parks her car in the garage. My truck sits right here in this spot, and we can't park anything on the street because the police will come through and give you a ticket. That's if you want to park anything on the street overnight. So in a little while here, I'm going to take you guys, we're going to go up to my church, which is 5 minutes down the street, and let's take a look at this new vehicle I purchased. We're just pulling into the back lot of my church. A lot of you may be asking, what the heck did I buy? Well, let's take a look. And there she is. Oh yeah. That's right. I bought myself a second 2002 Ford F-150. Let's go take a look at it. Actually, I don't want to do that because the key's in here. Here she is. Just bought it the other day off of a guy on Craigslist in Aurora, Illinois. And I guess this truck has a pretty interesting history to it. But based on that, I believe it's an old fleet vehicle. the guy does repossessions for a living, and he actually repoed this thing, and there was some stuff with the bank and everything, and in one way or the other, he acquired it as a dealership and sold it, and I was the one to come along and buy it. So here she is, same exact thing I've got, except the main difference is mine has a 4.2 liter V6. This has a 4.6 liter V8 engine in it. The primary reason why I bought this thing is even when I saw it in the pictures, this thing is absolutely beautiful. As you guys can see, it has very, very little rust on it compared to mine. Just a little bit down here, pretty significant, but that can probably actually be, might be able to be fixed up somehow. Has that stick out trailer hitch, probably not going to use that, but look at this. That's just dirt right there and scratching. That is not rust. Has that cool fire department logo on it. No rust. So I saw it on Craigslist, and it was kind of one of those things where I just it was a 3-day thing, or actually a 2-day thing rather. I went to look at it, or yeah, it was a 3-day thing because I found it on Craigslist the first day, contacted the seller that night, went to look at it the next day, bought it the next day. So the guy wanted $2,700 for it, which I thought was a little bit high. I got him down to $2,400, and I suppose I got myself a pretty good deal. Let me turn the key on for you guys. Now, she does have 151,000 miles, or right in the middle there, so right about 151,600 miles, and so she's getting up there. It has a lot of miles on it, but I gave this thing pretty much a full inspection with my friend. My friend came to look at it too. We took it out for a test drive, and it was very solid. I noticed that it rode very nicely. The acceleration was good. The brakes were good. And one of my favorite things is that this truck just turns right over. It's got a weak battery. I actually had to come here and jump start it yesterday because it was clicking. But it should start up right now. Let me give it a try because I think I ran it just long enough to give the battery a good charge. Let's try starting it up. There she is. Starts a lot smoother than that thing, I'll tell you that. So it's really not that much different than mine. All the controls are the same. The only thing is this one still has the original stock Ford stereo with the cassette player, which that will be getting swapped out with the Alpine Bluetooth stereo I have in that one. There are a couple downsides to this truck. For example, the key lock, when you put the key in to unlock the door on the other side and turn the key, doesn't matter which way you turn it, that lock will not move. You have to open that door from the inside because it will not unlock from the outside. I have a feeling the mechanic can take a look at that and fix it. And also, the seat is basically destroyed on this thing. It's a leather seat. It has a cover on it. This seat is basically destroyed, which is why, in addition to switching the stereo, I'm going to see about switching the whole seat assembly from that one, because that one has the cloth seat, which I like a lot better actually, and this one has the leather seats, which I'm actually not a big fan of. It really, even a difference between the leather and the cloth, there's a big difference. I think it makes a big difference in the atmosphere. What's the word I'm looking for? It makes a difference in the acoustics in the truck. So I'm definitely going with the cloth seat. I do not like this leather seat at all, especially with the horrible condition that it's in. So it's all one unit. So I think I just bought the Torx set, pull out these Torx screws, and hopefully get this seat swapped over. Let me go ahead and pop the hood and show you guys. Like I said, she's got a 4.6 liter Triton She is nice and dirty, but she runs good. Show you guys the lights. It's daytime. I don't know how well you might be able to see them, but let me cut the headlights, brights, flashers. Those work. Like I said, that brake light's out. We have a plate light out. Need to get that fixed. Headlights. So yeah, oh yeah, and she does have tinted windows, which is actually something I like it, but I also dislike it, because when it comes to backing this thing into the driveway at night, it's going to be really hard to see out that back window. I was trying to back this thing after my friend and I took it out for the test drive into the guy's driveway, and I had a very difficult time without being. I needed to be guided in, so. But I suppose we could take it for a little drive. Thing is, it's sitting here because I don't have plates on it yet. And yeah, it's sitting here because I don't have plates, and the DMV doesn't reopen until Tuesday. So I suppose we can go ahead and take this thing for a little drive around the parking lot anyway. I'll show you guys everything. Take the brights off. Put it in drive. Do I have the... Yep, I had the parking brake on. All right, let's make sure I don't clip the back of this trailer. We will pull out of here. I'm going to switch the tires from mine too, because those ones still have a lot of tread on them. Oh, wheels slipped a little bit, but yeah, this thing goes. It goes. It's a lot. So it has 2 more cylinders, so it goes a lot more than my truck. That's for sure. Seems like a good little, or actually not so little, but it seems like a pretty good truck. Rides very smoothly. I'm very happy about that. Let's try this again. Yeah. So, little bit of choppiness in the steering. That may just be because of the bumps in the road. I don't know. Everything feels pretty solid on it. Just a little bit of choppiness in the steering. So I'm gonna take it to the mechanic up in Rockford, have him check it out, make sure all is well on it. Reverse. Transmission. The other thing is the transmission. I notice takes there's a little bit of a delay between the time I shift the gear or shift the gear shifter and the time it actually takes to slip into that gear. It takes a minute, but after it warms up, it gets a little better. But so, you know, it's got 151,000 miles on it. This is another Trooper just like mine, you know, but it's so much more solid than mine. Sound system works. So yeah, there she is. This will be my new truck. I believe I'm going to start driving it on Tuesday, hopefully, after I can get the plates on it. And then comes everything else. Like I said, this seat has to go one way or the other, so I'm going to be hopefully switching it out between there. I'm going to see about switching the stereo out. Hopefully it won't require too much rewiring. I'm switching my cup holder out, which I replaced in mine. Mine had the same problem with it, where the thing was... the spring action on it doesn't work, so that's getting replaced with mine, and the tires are getting replaced too, because these don't have a whole lot of tread left on them. But oh yeah, and then of course, you know, my antennas are coming off, my Kenwood radio's coming out. I'm gonna have the guys at work put it right there, just like it is on the other truck, and I'll get my 2-way radios going in this thing, and it'll be a pretty nice little setup. But anyway, there's my Here's my new 2002 Ford F-150. Give you guys a good overview. Thank you guys for watching today, and that'll be it.